What is up, everybody? Yes, Alan, according to YouTube, I am late. I am working on an AX24. Already ran across a problem. I got a screw stuck, so I got to get that out. And then I'm going to put some brushless electronics in it from Furatech. We'll get that out as soon as I can get this base plate out of here. How is everybody today? If I can get this out of here. Apparently does not want to come out. Let's see here. Get some pressure on it. Let's try that. What's up, Fonzie RC? Welcome in. Thanks for showing up. Might have to go get my MIPs. All right, hold on a second, guys. I got to run out and get my MIPs. Be right back in a second. Well, it looks like my son has done something with my MIP, my 050. So I'm going to have to, it is not in my other workstation. So we're going to have to figure out how to do this without using the MIPs. Usually you can get an MIP in there and it goes pretty easily. We will try the tape method. What's up, Jim's Hobby? Welcome in. Sorry, I had to step out for a minute. I was looking for my other tools. Vanquish drivers are very good. I do agree with that, Jim's Hobby. I don't own a set of the Vanquish ones. These are the Pro Line ones. I've never really had any issues with it, but usually if I get a tough screw that doesn't want to come out, I can usually get it to work with my MIP tool, but I'm not quite sure what my son did with it. Guess it. Are you staring at her, Fritz? Yeah. Might be able to. I mean, if I can just get off the one side here, I can pretty much wing the rest of it. Yeah, my first set of tools that I actually got were a lot of the Amazon stuff, and then I'd bought a set of the MIPs. The only issue I didn't like using them all the time is they don't have, I don't know, they're heavier, and this has got that, you know, little twist at the end where you can, and I know the Vanquish tools do it too. I just don't have, what's up, Thompson? Welcome in. But I started getting these ones because, like, my MIPs, if they ever did wear out, I got to replace the whole thing. This one, I just got to replace the end. And I'm wondering if I have that end piece. Thought I had there we go. I think I found all my my spare pieces. Yeah, so you just have to buy these and you can replace them. Let me see if I have an 050 in here. That's a 2. That's a 2.5. There's an 050. That's one. Yeah, so I have a whole complete set. Could see if this, it's actually a little bit tighter. Which one is it? Is it the 2.0? See if we can get this set screw out. Hey, what's up, Nitro Freak? Thanks for stopping in. We're just doing a little bit of wrenching. On the AX24. See, we'll try a new tip here and see if that helps. Look at that. So it was my old tip. That was the problem. Wasn't the screw. That was my original tip when I bought these. So I've used that one for about a year. So that's the problem is that it needed to be replaced. Guess I'm glad that I had that. If I would have found my MIP one, it probably would have just came out perfectly fine. Jim, just the tip. What's up, Poker Rossi? Welcome in. Started this week, worked on it a little bit, but I got one video clip edited, but it's actually it's not for any of like the new memberships or the super chat one. I found a clip that is for ejecting somebody out of my channel if we need to. If you guys want to see it, I'll play it. It's actually out of Roadhouse, the movie. So my chat's not rolling here. Let's go to live. There we go. So now, just undo that. Get this out of there. There we go. So, got that. Now this thing is pretty much, it's kind of been upgraded already. Not a lot. I did get the carbon fiber rails when I built this and replaced the aluminum rails with the carbon fiber one. I did get the brass, you can see skid plate there. Fonzie, this is an AX24. I got another one right here. So it's an AX24. It is a 4-way steer 24 scale buggy. And I got 2 of them. And actually I have brushless electronics from FureTech to put in both. I just wanted to get one of these done. Not to mention, I want to play with the new controller, which actually I have another new one I haven't even put up on the channel yet, but I have the new radio link, I guess it's the RC8X, which I've not done anything with this yet. I'm still trying to figure out all of the, it's a huge touch screen. It's got a lot of different stuff involved in it, including FPV, which I'm going to try to figure that out too. But anyways, I want to work with doing 4-way steer with it. I'm working on trying to design kind of a knob that's going to go on the back side here for the VR button. And we can kind of do the 4-way steer with it. So for now, we're going to try to get it all set up on there. I've got right over here. They make this, and this is the R4F GM. So it does have a gyro in it, which I really don't need gyros for a crawler, but it's a tiny little receiver. And I got a couple of these, one for each of the AX24s, because on the other controller, which is back over there amongst all my controllers, is the other, the RC6 GS that I reviewed on the channel. So I'm going to put one of the AX24s on each, and then we're going to take them out back. Yes. Side by side, if you guys want to see them. I mean, they look like totally different beasts. Like, this is very plasticky. This is pretty, I mean, it's still plastic, but it is pretty solid. One of the cool things I did notice is that if you're left-handed or right-handed and you want to swap it over. What's up, Jeremy T? Welcome in, brother. You just got to pull these 2 screws here, and then you got 2 screws on this side, and then this whole piece pops out, and then you could swap it over to this side. So you could actually put it in your left hand or your right hand and steer with your left, I should say. So this one talks to you when you turn it on. It's this button here. You just got to press and hold it. Actually, I think I disconnected the battery. This one actually comes with the little 2S battery pack. Same thing that is on the other ones. Same connection. It's pretty cool. But it's got some cool lighting on it. Nice, colorful touch screen. Yes, Fonzie, it is sexy. To tell you the truth, you know, I told him I would love to look at this one, and you know, now I have it. But this guy right here has made me jealous of this controller over my fancy Fly Sky one. And this thing I used all year, and I love it. I love the fact that the wheel, you can spin it around to the other side. What I really like about it is, for us that do a lot of filming, that you can take this and cock it back just a little bit, and it's perfect thumb steering. With this one here, I got long enough thumbs that I can reach it. My wife can't, so she can't one hand steer it. But with this guy to set up for four-way steer, you don't have a viable dial that you would be able to use for steering. You've got a 3-position switch that's right here. I do like the fact that this thing can wireless charge. It comes with a base. Not to mention with this guy, you just do this. This piece pops off. There's an internal battery in here. It's actually surprising. It's the same size battery that I put into my e-cigarette. It's an 18650 battery that is inside of this controller that runs this whole thing. With that off, I can still turn this bad boy on.
Welcome to Noble Pro.
And it still turns on. You can put this on charge and do whatever you want. Or this same pack works with my wife's controller because it's the same controller, but these will actually even hook up to the generation, or I guess not the generation, but the standard MB4s. And then all you got to do is you press this button down here, it turns it on, and you'll see that this light down here gives you your battery and it charges. I love the heck out of this controller, but the simplicity of this one and the ease of setting things up was freaking amazing. I know a lot of people talk crap about this controller, and even messaging back and forth with Radio Link on it, they're understanding, and they know people have, talked crap about their controllers. They want people to tell them what they really think about their controllers, and they're okay with it because they know they need improvements. But the only way they're going to be able to improve the controller is for people to let them know and try it out and put it into the hands of people. And I think that's why, I got one, was because I've got several different controllers, and I've had a lot of Fly Sky stuff on my thing, and I've never had any Radio Link. And so they were happy to send me out one of the Radio Links to put up against one of my Fly Skies. And I will. But I can tell you what, this thing is probably going to outperform my Radio Link. My Fly Sky over here. Only because of the distance. Like my Fly Sky, it says in the, with the receivers, even the receivers that I've got antennas on, is going to go to 300 meters. This guy right here with the, where are they at over here? With these receivers right here, the R8FGs that have the dual antennas that come off, 600 meters. That is ridiculous distance that you can get of it. And then I did the math and found out that is 6.5 football fields long. Do you imagine having your RC, a ground RC, and running it 6.5 football fields away from you and still be able to control it? I don't know if we'd be able to see it, but it could be that far away and you can still drive it back. I mean, maybe if you put a camera on it and you'll be able to drive it back. What do we got going on? Oh, Keith. Welcome in, Keith Jenkins. Thank you, brother. Welcome in. Jims, can you set the VR as four-wheel steer on the Noble? You know, they do have, I don't know if you see right here. So you do got these two dials that are right here. And those you might be able to do and be able to control it with your thumb. This right here is more of a 3-position switch. You can see it. There's 1, 2, 3. I do like the what they have paddle switches right here. So you can see right there, the little paddle switch. That's how I set up my winch. I had going out on the front and coming in on the back that I did for, it's on my base camp. Now, when I did the review on this with my wife's, and I set it up on the green base camp, which is my wife's, we've got it on this one switch. So you go forward, it starts sending the winch out. You bring it to the center, it stops. You go to the rear, it starts bringing the winch in. The only reason I did that is because I used this knob to set up cruise control, which I'm going to do a run video on it. You got cruise control, you can dial it and turn it to just the speed you want to go and just let it start climbing up the rocks. And then you can just walk around and start, videotaping it if you want. Brian, what? How can you even see it? Yes, at 600 meters, I don't think you'd be able to see it. You'd have to have a camera on that thing to drive it. I don't know how far, I guess I don't know the math in my head, but I guess we could look that up. It is 0.39 miles, I believe, is 600 meters, but let me double check that. Meters to miles. Meters to. Can I spell today? I don't think I can spell today, guys. So meters to miles. So if we go 600 meters, 0.37 miles. So that is just over, a quarter of a mile. So it's in between a quarter and a half a mile away from you. That's how far that RC would go. That is ridiculous distance that you would be able to do. But, like with this controller here, it's got a built-in, I don't know, I have to look at the value of the screen, but it's got it to where you can split it and have a little screen here to see what you're doing and what you're driving. Now, this guy, one thing I realized, they say this is capable of mounting your VR up here. So you can get a little mount and mount up here to hold your cell phone. So basically you could have a cell phone connected up to your camera. Like say you put a GoPro on your car, get the little mount that sets up here to hold your cell phone. So you get your cell phone up there and then you'd be able to see whatever your camera is. Or even if you've got one of those Insta360s, put that on the front and you're able to view that on your phone also through the app. You'd be able to see it while it's driving. What else am I missing here? Everybody's saying hi to each other. Nitro's saying hi to each other. But it's cool for speed runs. Yes, you would actually be able to get that thing going down far enough to where you would have no problems getting up to speed, especially like you, Jims, when you're running those pan cars or whatever you want to call them, the TTO2s. Is that what you guys are doing your speed runs on right now? You would be able to get that going hell of a ways down far from you. I've not really tested the range on the Fly Skies yet, but I'm going to do a video. We have an area, and I'm going to do them actually with my crawlers because I'm going to take them out onto the dirt and on our BLM land. We have this huge stretch that's about, 5 miles long of just a dirt road. And so we're going to pick a little spot on there. I'm going to put my drone up in the air. We're going to put markers at every 100 meters. And then once we get the RC going down and we lose signal, it'll stop right there. And then we're going to set up the next controller. Now, different receivers result in different ranges in this radio link. Now, that one that I showed you, the R8F, that one's you're going to get your 600 meters. Now, they do have some that only go to like 300 meters. The TTO2, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, so you get that run going. That would be awesome. All right. Kind of got sidetracked from working on this. We're talking about these controllers, and the weight on this, I guess, with a battery, if I get my scale out over here. And weight becomes a big factor because my wife and I, we do a lot with having a lanyard around our neck, or she has a strap that kind of goes around here that hooks her. So she's able to mess with the dogs because we take our dogs almost everywhere when we go out RCing. So weight has been a factor. She loves the controller, but she does not like the fact that it, let's go with ounces. All right, if we go pounds first and see what this one says. So this is a batteries in all. This is the Fly Sky Noble. 1 pound, 7.1 ounces. Is that even right? Okay, 22.1 ounces is this guy. This controller with the battery in it, the radio link, is 16.7 ounces. So you're looking at like what, 4 ounces? 6.5 ounces difference in the weight. Now, you've got the other, this is just the regular MB4, and this is what my son uses. Yeah. My radio link controller is telling me it's not connected to nothing. So you got this guy here, and if we weigh him, it's 18. So it's like right in between these two. But then you take this guy, and if you guys know, I'm actually using an SCX24 battery in it. So even with that in there, this guy right here, including the lanyard, is 12.1 ounces. So this is the lightest of the controllers. The downside to it is the antenna. You know, you got this old school looking, like when we first went digital, antenna sticking off the top of it. I like the fact that on this one that they went ahead and went with the internal antenna on it. We're going to see what the difference in range is. We're going to use the same receiver, which is, where did I put them? Right here. We're going to use the same receiver, one on each controller, and we're going to see how close do we get to the 600 meters is basically what I'm trying to say. So to me, I think that's going to be a cool little test. We're going to do that. We've got the other Fly Skies that I did on the channel. We're going to test those out. We've got a stock. I believe it's down here. I got a stock Fly Sky. So like when you buy a Red Cat, it comes with the little, Red Cat controller. That's actually it's a rebranded Fly Sky. We're gonna throw that into the mix too, just to get that distance there. We got these two radio links. I've got a Spectrum down there, but all of my receivers that I have that for Spectrum don't have an antenna anymore. They're just little tiny ones that I use in my SCX24s for a couple of them. So it might not work as great to use the stock Spectrum controllers, but we'll see. Let's see here. RC explained, did a good range test on them. Oh, really? I'll have to watch his video before I do it. It's way less, around 300 to 400 meters. Well, you know, we'll see. We'll see what that distance is. In their book, I think it's right here, they have the different receivers. I think it's in, I know the one that I downloaded on the internet. Yeah, that's the working modes. Yeah, it's not in that book, but I know the one that you download from their website. They have the different receivers you can buy across their radio link stuff, and each one of them has like their max range. And I know that the RC8 the R8F receiver is the one that is their newest receiver, and that's the one that they claim gets to 600 meters. We'll test it out and we'll find out. I mean, I'm not saying that people that have reviewed them before and did the distance test on them, they may be right, but we're going to do it on our channel too and see what happens. You want to know in grams, Fonzie? Which one in grams? You want to know all of them in grams? All right, grams. So the RC8X in grams is 494 grams for this one. The FlySky Noble, the Noble MB4 Pro, 655 grams. The standard Noble MB4, 536 grams. And then this guy here, which is your RC6GS, is 341 grams. So I didn't write all those down because I'll probably reweigh those again for one of my videos. But needless to say, I want to try out the four-way steer. I don't know how I would do it with this guy. Maybe trying to use those dials that are built into the handle to see how that would work. I know that like with the stock controller, they've got the little switch on it that you flip, and that switch, has you do, from normal steer to four-way steer to crab walk. I want to have it on a thumb dial. Let's put this back over here. So yeah, definitely want to get into getting that range test done. There's a lot I still need to learn about this before I put up a video and my thoughts on it, but it overall, just the feel, very comfortable. The battery, it leaves a lot of room in there, and there's not enough room to take one of my little foam pads like with the SCX24 and put it on it. So I think what I'm going to have to do is kind of trim down one to kind of right there and trim it down just so it holds the battery in place, because with this battery in here, it does rattle in the controller. So I'm going to figure out that little modification to fix that issue. So the motor I originally had in this was the Torque Beast motor. So I still need to use the stock transmission. Getting back into this thing. So this comes with the little motor for the AX24, and it comes with the motor plate. So we got to get all of that mounted onto this transmission. I'm not changing out drive shafts or anything like that. We're just going straight for the motor swap out. What's up, Dion? Welcome in, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that like. Yeah, we're at 11 likes. So, yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. Share me out if you can. Would be greatly appreciated. I'm only going to be probably going to end this just before 2, depending on, or 2:30. Go for a little while, and we'll see how things go. I have an errand to run. I got to go pick my kids up from school at 3. So I'll be on for a little bit working on this. I am going to do a video on the other one, a complete install video and run and test on this guy, but I have 2 of them. So I wanted to get one done and see how it works. And with everybody that's in the chat, to throw it out there, Poker Rossi will be going live tonight. So don't forget to jump onto his channel. I think he's going live about 4 p.m. here. So it's 7 p.m., I believe, on the East Coast. It's a great little, not an RC related channel, but he, a lot of RC people jump in there and talk. What's up, Backwoods Boy Small Engines? Thank you for coming in, brother. Okay. Now, get that pulled off. Gonna have to take off these drive shafts. Where are you? I guess it would help if I went on the right side to freaking pull that screw out. So one of the things I do with all of my drive shafts is, so I don't lose the little screws that hold the drive shaft pins in, is I normally stick the screws back in there. And that way I don't lose them. But definitely going to have to take these off to get to that plate. Now this, the motor, which I'll pull, or the ESC, which I'll pull out here in a second. When you buy this kit, it actually comes with both of these boxes. And I know that quite a few people on here don't have the AX24 and probably don't care, but this is what I'm kind of working on today. So this one has, this is the, what do they call it? They're calling it the Lizard Pro Agua ESC. So it comes with that. It also comes with an aluminum skid plate. We're not going to use the aluminum one because I'm running a brass one. Gives me a little bit more weight down low. I had the Torque Beast from Mofo RC in here. I believe this is Mofo RC. Yeah, I believe the Torque Beast, this is a Mofo RC one. So I had that in there, which ran really good for it, but I want a little bit more performance out of it. So we're gonna go completely brushless and go from there. And I will probably save those Torque Beasts for another project. The Torque Beast is actually mounted with a 1.5 millimeter screw, not the 050. I was sorry in XT90. Oh, soldering. Yeah, no worries, Gems. No worries. You do you. I appreciate you being in here listening to the stream. While I talk to myself over here, answering some questions. All right. So set that motor aside in this box. That'll go into my SCX24 bin. Now, we've got to pull this plate off. I guess I'm going to have to unmount it from here. Now, the funny thing is that normally when I do this, I've built so many SCX24s, I always got extra transmissions just laying around. So usually what I'll do is I will build up, get the motor and everything built up on another transmission, and then I just swap it out real quick in the videos. But I've actually put together, out of all of my extra parts and stuff that I had, I put together 5 SCX24s. There's 3 sitting back right over here. You can probably barely see them, but there's right there. I got 2 deadbolts and a C10 over there. And I got 2 more that are out on my other workbench. But I put them together because I'm trying to downsize some of my parts. You know, when you do all these modifications and start working on a lot of the SCX24s, you end up with a lot of extra parts. And so you can actually throw them all together and make a whole, you know, stock RC out of it. Some of it's not even stock. Like I think I've got 2 of them that have Holmes Hobbies little mini 50 motors in them. One of them's like a 55T, the other one's a 65T that I got. And they were great motors, but since then I've went brushless on all of my rigs that I currently, and I don't use those motors anymore. So I threw those into those builds, and some of them had some extra aluminum links. I had a lot of those brass diff covers, so they got brass diff covers on them. Some of them I had some extra stock gears, and then I also had some upgraded gears because I always stock a little bit of extra. Had a bunch of those, so they got none of them, the ones I built, have any overdrive in them because all of my overdrive gears are up here in my SCX24s. But but I'm going to be putting them up for sale here in Phoenix and getting rid of those parts. And I guess I could have just put them up as one big, huge lot of SCX24 parts and seen. Yeah, no worries, Fonzie RC. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you on the next one. I'm looking forward to your next speed run video. And Gems, if you're still in here, you ought to check out Fonzie RC's video. He's over in the UK. Awesome guy. I actually met him through Nitro. But if you're not subscribed to his channel, you should check him out. He's a cool dude. Yeah, and then usually when I do this and I take them apart, I'll look at the bearings on the transmissions, making sure that there's no issues with the bearings. But that's all I needed to do was pull off that little stock plate and get that set aside. And that's it. That's the transmission right there. You can see the gearing inside of there. It's fairly simple. It's just 2 gears. Bearings look really good, so I don't think I need to worry about those right now. Of course, they would use a Phillips head screwdriver. Got my Phillips out here. And normally I would have my little blue mat up here that's got all of my spots to put all my screws, but it is loaded up with AX24 parts and all sorted out right now. So I'm working straight off of the workbench today. All right, so now get this mounted on here. And you can utilize your same hardware. And actually, I think I'm going to change that because I have some good stainless steel hardware in here. We need the small ones. Need to go with those ones there. So let's grab a couple of these guys out of here. If I can. Oh, it's because I bent them. Hey, look at that. Now they work. It's my cheap Amazon tweezers. Those set aside. But you can reuse your old hardware if they're not stripped, but we are going to replace ours with some good stainless steel. I actually think I'm going to need the longer ones. These are my 5mm, and it's actually an M1.4 by 5mm is those ones, which they are too short. They're the same size as those other ones, but we will go with the And bring out the 8s and the 6s. We're going to try the 6 millimeters. See how that works. Let's try one of those. Oh yeah, see, that's going to be better. So when you're actually putting them together, there's 2 halves to the case. So you got to get from here all the way to the back half and get it screwed in. And I think it just needed a little bit more to get that distance. That. I need one more to go back in the back, because there's 3 that hold the mount on. And I will show you that one here in a second. Not using any Loctite on these just because it's going into plastic, even though it's a metal. But there you go. You can see the top screw up there, and then you got the 2 on the bottom that you got to put in. Now we can remount this. Try to. There we go. Get that. Yep, so I'm putting the flywheel back on. All right. So now we got that in there. And so now all we have left to do is mounting the motor, which the motor is actually going to mount from this side and go in. But before that, we've got to put this plate back on. So we get that. Get this stainless steel hardware put back on. Now this hardware I'm going to reuse because it came with the plate. And it's not an Allen wrench, it's the see if we can get it in the hole here. There we go. Get this other plate on here. What's up, Hot Rod? Welcome in, brother. See, you made it through your week. There we go. Yeah, so there, now we got the cover on. Now the motor is going to mount on this side. And I think I'm going to have, this is going to mount like, so that's going to mount like that. And then that is going to set like this. So we are going to want the motor mounted that way. All right. Now, need to figure out what length of screws we need to use, because I'm not going to use their black screws. I'm going to use my own. And I believe I can use 10 millimeter. And the reason why I'm using my own is I like using stainless steel better. But let's see if we can use them. Nope. Let's see what I got in sizes here. I may be stuck utilizing their screws that came with it, because I'm not thinking I have the right size. But we will try. Let's see if this one's going to fit in the hole here. No. So I'm going to have to figure out what size screws these are, and I'll have to order some stainless steel ones. But I see that there are some in here. This is the kit that it came with. I believe those are it. Yeah, those are the screws. Are they? Yeah, and they are 1.5 millimeter screws. So let's get this lined up here. We will get the first one put in. Maybe. All right. Oh, I think I spun that too tight. Well, get it into the right hole. There we go. Now we'll get this other one in. Okay, and we can loosen that up. Now we got to set the mesh. try that. There we go. I think that's going to be it. Now, if you want, you could put just a tad of blue Loctite on it, but with as often as I take apart my SCX24s and clean them and rebuild them, I don't think I need to. But that's how you're going to mount it up. You can see the 2 screws that I had to put in right there, and then you just kind of mesh it up against the side. And we will get this put back together. Right. Now I'm mounting it back onto the brass skid plate. Where I am trying to mount it on the brass skid plate. Why is that? It's probably one of the frustrations people have with working on these small ones is the fact that it's just tiny screws. They can be a pain in the butt sometimes. Where is... little screw here. And that, so it takes 2 on the bottom. 1 comes through the top up here into the skid plate, and it kind of locks that transmission into place. And now we're set on that. So with this guy, we're going to unplug all of this, including the lights. We're going to take this bad boy off. Try to take this bad boy off. All right, Gems, you have fun. Good luck with your speed run. We'll see you on your video on the other side. Thanks for stopping by. Stick that back on the bottom there. And now I'm just pulling off the stickiness off of the top of the mounting plate for the electronics. Gaming King Thurman, welcome in, dude. Thank you for liking the stream there, Gaming. All right. So now that we got that, we are going to remount the transmission. Let's see here. Which way is forward? That's the rear. So we want to do it this way. Make sure those are up and out of the way. I think I'm going to have to relocate those upper links. They are not so right here is where we're hitting. Oh, let me get you on camera. So I got to relocate this upper link here out of the way because the engine sets right up against it. See if we can get these drive shafts reinstalled here before we move forward. There we go. Okay. That. And drive shaft put on. Oh, okay, Poker. You're not going to do one tonight? Well, I guess we'll see if maybe Nitro is going to end up doing one later on tonight. If not, I might be back on again tonight and work a little bit more on this. But I got about 15 minutes left in here before I got to shut down and go pick my kids up from school. I just had some time. My meeting got canceled, and I was figured I'd work on something, make some content. Yeah, if you go live, Nitro, I'm all for jumping into one of your lives, come up on the panel or something like that. like I said, I'm going to be working on this. I started kind of give everybody a heads up. The on those 3D printed boats, I'm having to do a lot of sealing of the hull, which I guess I can show you guys what I got started. So it went together pretty good, but what I have to do is I'm having to put a sealer along here because I made submarines. So you put them in the water and it sets pretty good. The back half here, I didn't have any issues with the water, but the front started filling up and it started doing this. So with that being said, I've got to run some epoxy across the hull. I'm going to come up here onto the sides and epoxy the sides. And we're going to go from there with that and get it all sealed up. Nitro or Hot Rod says, I'll probably go get. But all in all, it was a pretty simple build on building it. It's actually right here. I've got most of all of the content done for the initial build of it. We got the whole impeller system installed. We've got the servo installed, the motor installed. Still have to install the ESC. We have to install the receiver and the battery, get everything all wired up. I'm going to split it up into pretty much 2 videos. This video of how we've got it here is completed. I just got to finish the editing on it. And then we're going to go into the testing of the boat. And with that, we're going to put the clear coat on the hull, get the rest of the electronics put in. We're going to do a float test again, make sure that it doesn't sink and we don't get any water inside. If that's good, then we're going to stuff some styrofoam up into the nose to keep that a little bit more, because it's going to be heavy here. We don't want the nose to start sinking. Seal it all up, and then we'll do a test in the swimming pool in the backyard, and then we're going to take it out to the lake and do a lake run. All right. So thinking I might have to relocate him down some more because the motor is going to go in like this. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks like it's the problem. So the mounting of where this is going to have to shift a little bit to get that out of the way so it doesn't rub up against the motor itself. So really don't have enough time to dig into that right now. I'll have to do that later on tonight. after I get back from picking the kids up. See what everybody's got going on in the chat. Yeah, Gian. So it is kind of like a jet propulsion. So I actually have one. I don't have it assembled yet. Pull this off. So what you have is you got one impeller that goes into here, except for this one's not cleaned up. So it's going to go in here, and this goes in, your motor's on this side. Then you've got the second impeller, and that goes in like this. Then you have a cover. No, it goes this way. So then you have a cover that goes on like that, and then you've got the little the whip here that sticks off the back and goes like that. So it's got those two propellers or impellers that spin in there, creating that jet propulsion. So the motor spins that, causes a little turbine. It takes water in from the side, sucks it in, shoots it out the back. So literally you could take and dip the back side of the boat, which it sucks the water in. So there's a grate that goes right here. So it's taking the water in from here, and it sucks it right through the into the impellers and goes out and shoots it out. So you can actually take and just stick just a little bit of the rear end in the water, and it'll start shooting water right away. The ballast is like this whole side right here is all fills up with water. And the reason why is because you put the ESC on this side, it helps balance it. And you also have the torque of the motor inside. So it helps fight against that torque too. So that's kind of cool. And so it has water or inlets here, comes out here. It's also got some outlets right here. Now, the other thing is everything's water cooled. So it uses with these holes right here, you see those holes. So as this thing's going along, it creates a suction in there, and it basically pushes water. So it's almost like a bilge pump type, gets that negative pressure and pushes water through the air lines or the water lines that are going to go through and cool both the motor and the ESC. And then you're going to see that, well, actually this hole right here is your discharge hole, and that'll shoot out the backside of the boat. So you'll see that flow coming. So it uses the movement of the boat to get the water cycling through. It's an amazing design that guy did at MJet on figuring all that out. I'm sure what he did is he did some research with all of those the big boats, the big jet boats, and figuring out how to scale it down into something small like this. So yeah, so I got the first one built. I haven't put the second one together yet because I wanted to do kind of like my first testing of it. And then I was going to build the second one and then build the third one along with it. The third one, I don't have a current electronics for it yet. So we will get that electronics at a later time and get put into the third one. I think the third one's going to become more of a possibly a giveaway, depending on how much interest I get into these videos on getting these ones all put together. So we'll see. Might do some kind of giveaway. It's not going to be like on my main part of the channel. It'll probably be having to do with down the road here with possibly any of my new members and memberships that I have. So we'll see. Still working on the details on all of that. So that we still got 8 people watching, 15 thumbs up. I guess it's not too bad for just a pop-up stream that I did. Oh, looks like my chat disconnected. Let's see here. Go back to there. There we go. My chat's back. Sorry, guys. They're nice for shallow waters. Yeah, a lot of people were actually running those in little river beds. So I'm going to do a test in my swimming pool just to make sure everything works before I make the trip out. And then we're going to go out and look at a spot that they built in Surprise, Arizona. It's about 15 minutes north of me. They actually built it to be for fish, but our fish and game out here under their inspections of it, I think, decided they weren't going to allow fish into this pond, this man-made pond that they made. So they didn't know what they were going to do with it. And then the local RC hobby shops got with the city of Surprise, because there's a big one out there called AZ Turn and Burn. And they did some negotiations with the city of Surprise, and they've now opened it up for people that have RC boats to go out and have a spot to play with them at. So that's freaking awesome. So we're going to take a boat out there and figure it out. Oh, you got an older Traxxas Spartan? Cool. Funny thing is Thompson ended up doing a kind of an Amazon cheapo little boat, did an unboxing on his and took it out to the lake. And ever since I saw him do that one, I so wanted to have a boat. And to this day, I still haven't bought a boat, but I found these little 3D print files. And then with my mechanic at work, they did some 3D printing for me because my printer's not working right now. And printed out these holes. And pretty soon I'm going to have me an RC boat. Now, one of the boats, I'm building 2 of them completely. One of them's actually for him. The other one's going to be for me and the family. And then the second boat we'll probably do as a future giveaway. We'll see. It all depends on how well it turns out and whether or not it's something I think I should let somebody have, or if it's, I don't know. If they melt in the water, I guess I probably won't be getting rid of them. And then I want to build a bigger boat. I want to see if we can do a 3D printed like 6S. Maybe 12S. Speedboat. The 4th boat is for Nitro Freak. We'll see. He's already printing up some additional holes. Yes. Actually, Alan, if you look, he just built, MJet just built and released the stuff to build jet skis. So he's got a 10th scale jet ski one that it's like, this is 2 pieces, but the jet ski is actually in like 3 pieces. And I think that would be kind of cool. He actually does this. He has this impeller motor, the MJet motor. He actually has this that you can actually buy it. It's called an MJet 30, and it's equivalent to like I think it's like a 30 horsepower type. But you can buy it, build it completely with the motor, and then notch out, like make a carbon fiber hole and notch out the back of it and mount his motor system or his impeller system in the back of it to put his jet powered, high powered motor in the back of it. You need a bigger printer. Yeah. I'm still on the fence on whether or not I'm going to get the it's the Ender 5. No, it's the Corality K1 Max, or if I'm going to get the it's about $140 more to buy the Bamboo Labs. I think it's the 1PS or the P1S, which is not their biggest, baddest printer they have. It's their entry level one, but it you can get, I think the Creality one you can get for about $850 shipped to the house, and then the Bamboo Labs one, the 1PS or something like that, or P1S, it's just a little bit over $1,000 to get one. I have seen those life-size 3D printers. Those things are freaking huge. I saw somebody printed one of the Benji boats that was about the size of a motorcycle that they just come dragging out of this full room-size 3D printer. It was freaking crazy. You imagine how much PLA would take to print that Benji? That'd have been ridiculous. You'd have to have the ability to multi-spool swap out, or you'd have to get like a 500 kilogram spool to put into that thing instead of, or a 5,000 kilogram spool instead of a 1 kilogram spool. Be like rolling in like those big cable spools, rolling it in and popping it up on a rack next to the printer. Well, all right. It is 2:30. If Nitro goes live, I'll be over on Nitro's stream. Poker Aussie, I guess, isn't going live tonight. He's too tired, so he'll just be hanging out in somebody's stream. Probably Nitro's stream later on tonight. I appreciate everybody coming in and watching. If you guys got any more questions about the different controllers or functions that you want me to figure out and let you guys know, let me know in the comment section of this video. I'm going to take a little bit longer on figuring out this controller before I do the video, because I want to do a whole bunch of freaking different testing on it. I want to figure out four-way steer, and this knob is a lot closer to the hand wheel here. So I need to figure out a way of moving it back a little bit so I can get a little bit better steer to have that four-way steer. I want to get all that figured out and throw it into one big video for everybody, and give my final thoughts on that radio link. But so far, I don't really have too much to complain about the RC6GS yet. So there's some minor gripes, but it's nothing big that I need to disclose right now. I will probably cover all those gripes in my 3-month review, because I'm going to do a 3-month review and a 6-month review and a 1-year review of those controllers. So, but anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bash that bell. I'm Stitch, SK Hobbies AZ, and I'm out.